Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I appreciate you tuning in to hear my thoughts and opinions on the newest hit title, Starfield by Bethesda. I would like to give an honest, straightforward, and meaningful opinion. There are certain things I will be trying to leave out, like bugs, exploit, and glitches in the game. Because let's be honest for a second. For one, it's a Bethesda title. For two, every game in the past decade or so has come out with glaring bugs, glitches, exploits, and many other things. So if I was going to cover that, I'd be here a lot longer than I want to be. So for your sake and mine, I will be leaving most of those things out, unless they are detrimental, important, or should be noted. I also will not be discussing anything politically related, as I do not like to get involved in politics, because, to be honest, to put it lightly, they're kind of a shit show. Everybody knows that, even the people involved. Without further ado, let's get the review going. So for starters, you're met with a character creation screen. And admittedly, it's probably up there with one of the best, if not the best character creator I've ever seen in a Bethesda game. Even on its own, as a character creation screen, it does pretty well outside of the realm of Bethesda games, and it's actually pretty up there with some of the best I've seen. I won't say it is the best, because that's a heavy opinion to make so swiftly, without much thought behind. But I will say it definitely caught my attention, made me pretty satisfied and happy with the character customization options I was presented. Even things like background traits and other such things were very well detailed and very well laid out. If you like the idea of your character having some level of unique background before the events of Starfield, then from a role-playing aspect, this definitely will be beneficial to you. One thing I forgot to mention is you will not be greeted with a character creation screen, but rather an opening cutscene and a brief tutorial and intro to the game. You can have it done in easily less than 5 minutes, so don't fret. It's not hard to get through. I will admit, before installing the game, I had many doubts, because I kept hearing people say that you have to get past this 12-hour or 10-hour mark or something until the game starts to become good, and I honestly didn't understand it until I played. And for me, that mark actually came around 6 to 8 hours. You see, the thing is the story is very slow to start, but once it picks up and it starts going, it snowballs very fast. Once it starts snowballing, things get interesting. There are many activities to do, many side quests. There's also an outpost system. It's very similar to one from Fallout 4, yet it's actually more advanced and is planetary. You see, you can actually use the planets to harvest resources in the same solar system and essentially connect them. But that's a whole video of its own. If I'm being honest, all I can say for that is it's hit or miss depending on how you like to play your game. And for me, it hasn't hit yet. Not to say it won't, but I'm just enjoying the questing right now. I've been on more than my fair share of planets, and I will say, most of the enemies are either aliens, and when I say aliens, I mean creatures, or pirates, or some form of pirates. You will be fighting a lot of human enemies in this game, be warned. So if that's not a good thing for you, then you might not want to touch this game. But if you're more for the open world exploration, you can land on a planet and you could fight an alien species all day, make outposts, and essentially just go crazy. I know you're probably wondering, well, what's so crazy that happens after the 6-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour mark in the main story? And honestly, without ruining anything, all I can say is you're just gonna have to find out. And let's just say an ode to Skyrim is made in a major way. If you played Skyrim, you'll understand what I mean, and you'll see as the game progresses through the main story. All in all, the main story definitely takes a lot of dips, dives, and twists. There are many plot twists, believe me. It gets a little convoluted, maybe even confusing for some people, including myself. But at the end of it all, it leaves you understanding what happened, or what's happening, or at least in the best way you can. I'm not gonna lie, the story is actually a lot better than I expected it to be. I honestly expected it to be dog shit. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because of the industry lately, past 10 or so years. What I will say is I did play the entire game from start to finish on the Xbox Series S. And honestly, there was only one time I encountered a game-breaking bug where I had to literally load the last save. But even then, that was easy to do, and it was the one time it happened out of my at least 24 to 30 hours of gameplay. So, honestly, with Bethesda, that's not too bad. There were some funny bugs here and there, but nothing too serious, and nothing that affected immersion too bad, nor made my gameplay experience negative. So, essentially nothing noteworthy. However, Bethesda did bring back one thing in a major way that I missed, and that was skill checks from the skill tree. And I'm pretty sure they had it in Fallout 4 as well, but it just wasn't really there. Whereas in Starfield, it honestly seemed like you were getting those kind of skill check requests a lot more. It felt more like an RPG again. It felt like Bethesda was going back to its roots rather than trying to do whatever they were doing with 76 and Fallout 4. And ironically enough, as bad as both of those games were, I know, don't burn me the stake, I did enjoy them, and I still enjoy them. Well, maybe not 76. The game's kind of ruined, let's be honest. To summarize, and to really wrap things up, what I will say about this game is essentially it feels like Bethesda is trying to go back to their roots overall with the whole RPG element of the game. And rather than giving you a predisposed, pre-carved character like in Fallout 4, where you're looking for your son Sean and you've already had a life before the, nukes. If you enjoyed games like Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, and Oblivion, this game might actually strike a very good target for you, especially if you're into sci-fi. This time around, the writing and the game itself for Bethesda feels a lot more mature and grown up from what it used to be. And that might sound weird if you haven't played the game, but if you play it, you'll completely understand. This game takes itself a lot more serious than previous titles, and that's not a bad thing. But I will say, overall, it's a pretty good game. And for me, I'd probably give it around a 9 out of 10. But realistically, it's probably close to a 6 or a 7 for people that don't enjoy Bethesda RPGs. So the non-biased review would hands down be anywhere between a 6 and a 7, maybe a 8. Wrapping it up, if you're actually interested in the long run of the game and you're not here to just play the story once and leave it alone, I would heavily look into what New Game Plus has to offer and understand the mechanics behind it. Trust me, you'll thank me later. I won't spoil why. I will say though, that if you're looking for the long run of the game, definitely look into the mechanics of that. Please, trust me. If you've gotten this far into the video, I thank you. And I'm surprised, because this is my first ever review, and the first time I've used my voice on this channel to actually talk. So, if it's shit, well, I'm new to this, sorry. But I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. Please give me pointers on what I can do better next time, and even give me more video ideas if there's anything you'd like to see as a fan. I'm all open to criticism, even if it's negative. And with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed my short, honest, and straightforward review of Starfield.